Hi guys, welcome to your Unit 7 Lesson 5 notes on multiplying binomials. By the end of the day, you'll be able to multiply two binomials. Now, what's a binomial? Quick, remember, nomial means number, and bi means two. So a binomial is an expression with two numbers. For example, here we've got two binomials. We've got 2y plus 1 and we've got y plus 3. Now how we can multiply this using the distributive property is by distributing the terms to each other. First we're going to take our first binomial and we're going to split it up into 2y plus 1. So say that's the same thing as 2y plus 1. So we've got our 2y, we've got our plus 1, and now we're going to multiply them by y plus 3. So 2y plus 1 times y plus 3 is the same thing as 2y times y plus 3 plus 1 times y plus 3. So we took this 2y plus 1 and we're distributing it into y plus 3. But now we need to distribute even more. First, we're going to start by distributing this 2y into y and plus 3. So that gives us a 2y times y plus a 2y times 3. We're going to do the same thing with our 1. We're going to distribute 1 into y and 1 into 3. So that'll be the same thing as 1 times y plus 1 times 3. Now let's work through what we have so far. 2y times y is the same thing as 2y squared. 2y times 3 is 6y. 1y is just y and 1 3 is just 3. We're almost done. There are two things we can combine. So we have two y expressions right here. We're going to add them together. So remember, y is like 1y, okay? So 6y plus 1y gives us a 7y. And everything else falls into place. So we have 2y squared plus 7y plus 3. And that is our final answer. I'm just going to make it fit. Yoink. Sweet. So now, this is, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of steps. I'm going to give you a shortcut. I'm going to give you a shortcut that we just used already. So you notice the first thing I did here was, I'm going to, whatever. I multiplied the first two terms together. I multiplied 2y times y. And then I multiplied 2y and 3. So I multiplied these two together, and then I multiplied these two together. And then I multiplied 1 times y. So I multiplied 1 times y. I multiplied these two together. And then finally, I multiplied 1 times 3. Multiplied these guys together. That's the pattern that we're going to follow. First, we're going to multiply the first terms together. Then we multiplied the outside terms together. Then we multiplied the inside terms together. And then we multiplied the last terms together. And this pattern gives us a nice shortcut called the FOIL method. FOIL helps us remember, okay, multiply first times the outside times the inside times the last. You got to FOIL it out. Whenever you have two binomials multiplied times each other, you're going to use the FOIL method. So that means you take the first two numbers, a times c, and then you add them to the outside numbers multiplied together, which is a times d. Then you add them to the inside numbers multiplied together, which in this case is b times c. And then finally, you you add them to the last numbers multiplied together, which is b times d. So when you have two binomials, that's equal to first times outside times inside times the last. Now let's do a couple examples. If you have these guys, we need to FOIL it out. Always write FOIL. You don't even have to write what it stands for, but at least write FOIL. But since it's right here, watch what I can do. Whee! Oh, watch what I apparently cannot do. Whee! Okay. First, I need to multiply the first numbers together. A times A. And then I need to multiply the outside numbers together. A times 7. The inside numbers together. 4 times A. And the last numbers together. 4 times 7. That's not a 4.7, that's a 4 times 7. And then we add them all up. A times A is also known as A squared. A times 7 is also known as 7A. 4 times A is 4A, and 4 times 7 is 28. We're almost there. We can combine 7A plus 4A would give us 11A, because that's 7 plus 4A, or 7A plus 4A if you have 7 alligators and you have 4 alligators. You add them all up, that gives you 11 alligators. So our final answer is A squared plus 11A plus 28. Cool, huh? Let's do another one. Ah, look how funky that is. That's okay, it doesn't matter. We still follow that same process. Multiply our first two numbers together. So that gives us an x squared times a y. Then we multiply our outside numbers together, giving us an x squared times an x. Then we multiply our inside numbers together. Now be very careful. This negative belongs to this 4. You can consider it like plus negative 4 and then do that. But either way, you're going to do negative 4 times y. And then your outside numbers, still got a negative 4 times x. And then we add them all up together. So this gives us an x squared y plus x squared times x is x cubed plus a negative 4y. You can do minus 4y if you want to. I had a math teacher who said, always write plus negative numbers. It's up to you. We'll go with minus, just for funsies. And then minus 4x at the end. Yay! That's cool, that's great. But when are we going to use this in real life? Well, let's say that you have 17 people in your class and that you need, or 17 people are coming to a party and food will cost $34 per person. So for some reason, you need to do 17 times 34. How can you do this quickly? Well, you can write 17 is the same thing as 10 plus 7, right? And 34, that's the same thing as 30 plus 4. Oh, look, we have binomials here. We're multiplying two binomials together, so let's use our FOIL method. Oh, I want it small, huh? Okay, so let's multiply our first two numbers together. That gives us 10 times 30. And then let's multiply our outside numbers together, giving us 10 times 4. And then we've got our inside numbers together, 7 times 30. And finally our outside numbers together, 7 times 4. You add them all up, you get 300 plus 40 plus 210 plus 28. Now I like to just Add them right in a row. 300, that gives us 340 plus 210 plus 28 is 238, which gives you a grand total of 578. There you go. So that's a quick way to multiply if, you know, your calculator ran out of battery or something. There you have it. Or you need to check that you plugged it in correctly. So what's going on here? Why does the FOIL method work? Well, let's take the same situation up. Let's say you've got a rectangle. I'm gonna give you a visual right here. Okay, and you know the rectangle is 17 by 34. And you can't find the area of it quickly, so you break it up into smaller bits. You say, you know what? I'm actually going to say this is the same thing as 30. Oh dear, that was not parallel. That's the same thing as 30 plus 4 times 10 plus 7. This is not to scale, by the way. Okay. So first we're going to do 10 times 30, which means this has 300 in here. And then we'll do 10 times 4. This is 40. And then we'll do 7 times 30, which is 210. And then we'll do 7 times 4, which is 28. You can add that all up to realize, oh, the area inside this rectangle is 578. Oh, how cool is that? That's the same thing, right? So that's what the FOIL method is doing. You're splitting it up into smaller, easier parts. Yay! Key idea, know what FOIL means and apply it. Have a great time on your homework.